Hello, welcome back to On the Nose. This is the continuation of the conversation with Robot Liz that began last week. I'm not going to take up too much time with the intro since the rest of the episode is still pretty long, but I hope that you will enjoy listening along, and I hope that you have a good week.
My confidence level kind of did, as it evolved, it did this weird dip, and now it's doing the reclimb. But it had to dip down to 0 first. Mm-hmm. So in 2020, 2019, we're like at the apex of like campaign, all that, And then 2020 enters, and I'm still on that high of being like, no, I can balance the job and the kids and weird stuff like campaigns and stuff, blah, blah, blah. And it started to tank with things that I noticed that just changed, and as my attitude changed. What was the thing we were talking about right before this? Because it'll remind me where I was going with this.
Getting the solar installed, and then doing all the work myself, and the lights.
Right. Yeah, it started to tank, but that was when I still thought I was still keeping myself busy at home so much that I couldn't stand being here because I was used to being at the office all the time. And I had been at the office for the last 15 to 20 years, different offices, but still the office environment. So I had no idea what I was doing here by myself, or not by myself, but with the family here and everyone home. And it was like I had all this time to cook because I'd had no commute. I had all this time to fix light fixtures, and I had the confidence to do so. And then I got really sick, and it just tanked.
Yeah, that's what happened to me, but on a longer scale. I got sick, and I was so sick I couldn't even drive, physically was unable to. I was too fatigued. But I would occasionally get these blips of energy, and I would get projects done during that time. And I remodeled part of my house slowly over time, only when I had the energy to do it, and I was still able to do it. But then I went a couple of years where I stopped doing that stuff because I finally got into a specialist, got a diagnosis, and they're like, you need to rest, you need to stop doing all the stuff you've been doing, and respect your limitations. So I had to learn how to do that. And since then I've lost confidence because it's been years since I've done stuff. And when I go to do stuff like now I have rheumatoid arthritis or whatever, so when I go to use power tools, it's really painful and stuff, and it makes me really nervous to use power tools. And so I just don't have the same confidence. But over the last couple of months, as I've started doing more stuff, I feel like I'm starting to regain some of that and be so I'll go to do something, and I'm there's no reason why this should make me as nervous as it's making me. And I'll just be almost shaking. I'm so nervous.
Dora! Dog was eating off the counter. Go on. You should be able to do this. Yes.
And then I do it, and I'm okay. And each time I do that, I feel like I'm getting less and less nervous about these things that used to be no brainers. I would not have been nervous to do it at all. Right. I'm why? I guess
that's how
it's
I feel
the bugs.
about driving.
Yeah.
It's what I wonder, there are days that I'm just get on the highway. When I'm on a road that's close to the service road, I'm just do it. You got on this highway. You've been on this highway since you were 16 years old. Get on that highway right now. And I'm I can't do it. And I'm nervous about it. And I'm why am I nervous about this? Just because my car. I mean, my car's older, but I'm older. But I'm this car got on the highway not that long ago.
Yeah.
Know what your deal is.
Has it as you've been starting to drive more, has it the exposure helped you, or is it still pretty persistent?
It helps. I have been able to drive further away from the house, so the distance is helping now. I just need to figure out speed, being able to get used to going faster. than like 50. It's not even really, I'm not even really on anything I haven't really gone on anything that's more than like 45, 50 at the most here. There's not really a whole lot around.
So the sensory experience is part of it for you? Like, so if you went faster, it would make you nervous because you can feel.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I start to get a little bit of that. I get the heart rush that's probably totally normal, but for whatever reason, I'm very self-aware of its feeling as it kind of rushes and I feel it in my chest. Then my palms start getting sweaty and then like my feet will start to tingle and I'm like, that's it. I'm passing out or something.
Yeah.
Or I'm like, or I start to panic and I think, oh my God, what if I passed out? Like,
yeah.
This would be bad. And I don't know where that came from. I never enjoyed driving, but I drove everywhere. I mean, I've taken that little car to Denver, to St. Louis, to Dallas, to that little Civic has gone everywhere. But
I like something like this is not a completely formed thought, but something that I've been thinking about was that we spend so much of our lives ignoring the way that things make us feel because we have to, right? And it seems like that there's a lot of people, women especially, who they reach like a certain age and then they just cannot like ignore the way that things make them feel. Like they start start having like stress related health issues and like not wanting to leave the house and just being uncomfortable with things that they were always able to do before. And I'm like, and how many of the things that like we're running into that make us nervous were things that like made us nervous to begin with, and we just didn't hear it because we're so used to not being able to basically take the liberty to take the time to hear how we're feeling or act on it because we have to do things,
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I completely like wonder about that. I wondered too, because I did, one of the things I'm always very open about was that I was an alcoholic, like a rampant alcoholic for a very long time. And when I was working, I would drink. And that was never cool. But I often wondered, like, the anxiety seemed to ramp up after I sobered up. And it was almost as if I self-medicated and made myself so numb that I didn't even notice these things that bothered me. Like they didn't bother me as much because it's like couldn't feel them,
Yeah.
But
that makes sense.
Oh yeah. It still makes me wonder how I got by, because like there are things like I remember, like the things that I can remember completely, like the clear as day through those years that I knew that I was drinking like a lot of vodka compared to water. I'm just like, I still had the sharpest, like it still can remember everything from that time. So I must have just been running off with pure adrenaline and vodka. It was just a rough time. Yeah. But my kids were really, really young. Like I wasn't like a abusive drunk or anything like that. I was just one of those high functioning alcoholics that broke down during the pandemic.
Yeah. But like being able to like slow down, do you think that like helped you like stop, cut back on drinking and stuff?
I think being able to slow down woke me up, because it was no longer something you could hide. And there was no longer the duality complex. I was here at home facing myself every day. So it became one of those things where my thread just kind of got really thin and it broke. And it was just like, I have to start over. So
when did you get your ADHD diagnosis?
That was in 2021. So that was a year after the breakdown. So a year after the breakdown of seeing my psychiatrist and him treating me for bipolar disorder, he decided to test me for ADHD. It was like, I'm going to diagnose you with ADHD. But he had a year of sessions of time, or close to a year of sessions, to like get to know me first.
Yeah. And do you think that getting that diagnosis like helped?
I think that helped a lot. I feel a lot less, I was telling my husband the other day, I feel a lot more stabilized mood-wise now than I think I ever have in my entire life. Like the bipolar doesn't feel as bipolar.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just because I can focus better, but yeah, I'm still a little like, my brain's still a little string cheese, but for the most part,
Yeah.
I can focus.
Well, also like because you're managing the ADHD partially with medication, and so you're actually getting the dopamine that you were deficient in before, and it makes sense that that would help stabilize things, because
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a
it's
big one.
interesting.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. I know I'm still like, I just read an article about the shortage and they're like, it's worse than ever. And, and I'm like, great. I've said it before, but I'm positive I'm on a short list of people that are just not getting their meds, like, because somebody else is getting their meds. Like my friend, like almost everybody I know who lives in this area where the shortage is really, really bad, they're getting their meds, but I haven't gotten mine since November.
That's crazy. That doesn't
So
make any sense. Like, they're
yeah,
not that far away. Is it like, can you fill where they're filling? I don't get it.
yeah. And I think that it's like people are getting prioritized if they were already getting them, and maybe I wasn't on the meds long enough or whatever, so I'm not on the list.
Were you on them for very long before this all started?
No, I was almost at a year when the shortage started, so I was just starting to like get used to it.
Right. Yeah.
Um, yeah, starting to like relax and like learn about myself in that regard, like with the meds, because the meds like helped me feel like normal in a way that was like, you know, I'd never felt that before.
Yeah. It's different. It is different. It's like putting on a pair of glasses is what I kind of described it as, which I had read before, but there is no better way to describe it. That's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah.
Everything just kind of got clearer and still stays that way for the most part. I have my good days and my bad days. I still have those days where I'm just like, I have to rely on an entire pot of coffee or two to get through. I'm just
Yeah.
not there. But
Yeah. I've been
so
lots of TV in the background to give me stimuli to help me stay focused on things. That's been my thing that's helping me lately.
yeah, I've had it on like, because I'm a news junkie and I'm a local news junkie. So I've had it on the local news. Like, that's just usually my background noise, is to just hear what's going on. Because like small town, okay, no offense to anyone in Oklahoma, and I love you, and please don't beat me up. But it's, a smaller, like the local news that you watch in Oklahoma is different than what you're getting in, say, San Francisco or something like that. And I was trying to explain that to my oldest daughter. I was like, no, it's kind of interesting to go and like stay in a hotel and like change it to their local news, because it's like a world of difference.
Yeah.
Because then you come home and you've got our little group of lovely yokels, and it's cute. It's just kind of fun to watch. But not the bad stories, but your little cute local heartwarming stories are kind of cute.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
nice that you get those, because like some news outlets don't even bother with anything heartwarming or positive or even interesting. They're just like so negative.
Mm-hmm. That was another thing I tried to say to her, was that, she was kind of getting upset by the news. And I was like, you have to remember that for every death, there's a birth. For every funeral, there's a wedding, that kind of thing. Like, I just remember my dad saying something very similar, because it is not always just doom and gloom. It's just that's what's going to get the clicks.
Yep. I don't click on negative stuff. I don't click on, like, to me, I'm super avoidant. Like those videos that you're shown on Facebook for the crashing and stuff, I would be like, nope. And like, I don't want the negativity. I just feel like I just don't want it. So I only click on stuff that like it makes me curious, or so my feed is just full of, you know psychology and scientific findings and anthropology and archaeology and stuff like that. Just not news, really.
Right. Yeah. No, I get a lot of local meteorologists and stuff like that too. It's not all the weird crashes. That's just like a weird real thing that started. But I think it's because I watched them for the exposure, or I started watching them for the exposure thinking it was going to help. And then it ended up making me more anxious. And I was like, I don't know if this is a good idea or not. So
I did start seeing weather reports for where Tyler lives randomly in my Google. And I'm like, I'm trying to figure out like why it decided that it's going to show me, like, you know.
Did you consider visiting or anything like that?
No.
Interesting.
Yeah, it must have picked up something in the conversation that we had. Or I mean, the thing that I have my stuff turned off. It's not supposed to be using
your stuff.
Yeah, but I still get results like it is. So
that's weird.
Yeah.
See if I can fix this hair. Probably not.
I got bedhead back here. It's short. It's at that length where like it's not heavy enough to lay down. So it just, but I'm trying to grow it. I've got like this really epic like gray going on right here.
Nice little streak on both sides.
Yeah. And I want to see what happens like if I let it get longer.
It's gonna look cool. I've always wanted like a solid streak of some sort, something that was like a little more substantial. And I don't know right now. I can't get rid of this blue or green. Like I tried dyeing over it, and it's not. It is. What
it doesn't want to. Yeah.
It's still staying like a hunter green, so it's fine. As long as it kind of grows out a little bit, it's in this in-between stage that's driving me crazy. And I just either want it a little longer or a little shorter, but I don't want to cut it again. So
yeah. I keep like adjusting where I'm sitting, and then I have to change the camera.
I like the pill necklace.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm trying to like wear the stuff I make to bring attention to it. So
have you had more movement in your shop?
I had like a week where I had several sales, but it's mostly like my friends. And I think it's because of everything going on with the RV. Like people are trying to be supportive. And then since then it's been like, I get like a favorite of something, but I haven't been getting any sales. So it's been, that's why I'm taking a break from posting on my shop account and stuff. Cause I was just like, I'm getting so little engagement on those posts, and that's like frustrating because it's a lot of work to make all those videos and stuff that I'm posting. So I was like, I'm just going to take a break, save the content for when I am feeling it. And just try not to stress about it. I did sign up for another marketplace that's, you have to make your own stuff. They're trying to fix where Etsy broke. But I need to go in and finish updating the entries for everything, because I had them import it, and they're like, well, you still have to do this and that, and it's like it's going to take me hours, so I just haven't done it. And I want to try that, and I'm not going to try advertising it. I'm just going to see what happens and go from there. Yeah. And then once I'm settled in the RV, I'll start trying to do in-person, like do farmers market or flea markets. And like craft events, they're like $250 a table. So I'm not doing that.
Wow.
But I can do these local ones. And then my friend wants to do one of these craft fairs in December with me. And it's like she'll get her own table, and we're going to see if we can be set up next to each other. But she offered to pay for it since it's my birthday month and stuff like that. Cause otherwise I really wouldn't be able to like justify the costs. And we'll see how that goes. So
yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. We'll see what I make.
How much would the cost be if you don't, what was the normal cost if they didn't pay for it? $250.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did that pop-up shop. I made $500 from the pop-up shop, like 250. That would eat half of it,
Yeah.
And it's only for a weekend.
Yeah, like my rent's like $186 for like a 4 by 9.5 space or whatever.
Yeah. And that's per month. So
yeah, but it's like in arrears from your sales. So like whatever your sales are, they deduct rent and then they pay you the difference. Now, if you don't make rent, obviously, but whatever your sales are deducted from rent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
but I've
cool.
only had to pay rent once. Knock on wood. I don't know. I had this huge sale. I basically was like, everything's 25% off last weekend, but then I didn't get to go in on Monday to check to see how everything looked. So I'm going to have to go in tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's Thursday? Yes, tomorrow's Thursday. Okay. I have not been able to keep my days straight this week. I thought it was like later in the week, all week. It felt like it should be Thursday or Friday, like all week long.
Yeah. Is that just like getting used to like the school routine and then having sick kiddos?
I think so. Poor Phaedra was just like, poor Phaedra is sick, so it is what it is. I'm so shocked that there's no like stricter protocol, because I mean, like Lillian tested negative, so she went to school, but you'd think there'd just be like a, I don't know, mask mandate or something. I don't think there will be anymore. I don't think they're even going to try.
Yeah. And like if the people knew, like if the people have colds or just aren't feeling well and they wear masks, that would help a lot. And it's a bummer that we culturally cannot pick up the practice of giving a shit about other people.
I know. It just turned into such a monstrous type of scenario, like the worst nightmare scenario. And it got twisted, and now you're not going to convince anyone that this is just the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And that's really, really sad.
Yeah. It's going to be, I mean, the studies that are coming out for like long-term effects of getting COVID, or they're not great,
Mm-mm.
So it's just going to become like a normal part of society that people are going to end up having these health issues and stuff. And we don't have a good system for that, like at all. I said in one of my podcast episodes that they basically, they would prefer that we just die, like anybody that's disabled and has health issues or whatever, and they don't give us enough to barely keep it together,
Mm-hmm.
And there's just gonna be more and more of that. Yeah.
There's no capitalistic worth.
Never mind the fact that disabled people still buy stuff. They like to create stuff. There's there's so many ways that people could be of value to the economy and to the culture without being a worker bee,
Mm-hmm.
But
I thought that myself. That's why it's like I have this guilt still in my head where I feel like I should be doing something more, because I have this ingrained guilt.
Yeah.
From the society I grew up in.
Yep.
So
I mean, I think like it's gotten a little better for me, but it took me over like a decade of actively working on that mindset to stop feeling the pressure in quite the same way, and I do the stuff I do now because I enjoy doing it, but also because I need the money, but it's not coming from like a guilt, I don't feel like, and honestly, if I did feel the guilt, my guilt would tell me that what I'm doing isn't appropriate and isn't enough. Like it would be like, go get a real job, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
It wouldn't making art and stuff for Etsy would not be considered a real job to that part of my brain.
Yeah. That's how like my guilt thinks about the antique store sometimes. Even though I love to like at least tell people it's like, well, I dabble in antiques. Or I collect antiques. It's like that is something I can say now, which is not a lie. Which should make me feel good, but instead makes me feel weird, because I'm just like, am I doing something? What am I doing? Am I just hauling Am I just hauling stuff around? Am I just dragging my stuff around? I don't know.
Yeah. Like I can be called an artist. I've sold multiple pieces and my brain goes, that's weird.
That's awesome. But that's exactly what you are. But yeah, we have a hard time telling ourselves these things.
Yep. It's been so long since I've done like proper, like done like a painting or whatever that my brain starts going, well, maybe you can't really do that. And I'm like, shut up, brain. You couldn't do it anyways. You're just practicing. Just keep practicing. I'll get there. Like I had the workshop, but I'm going to have to get, the storage unit I was going to use that as a workshop where I could do painting, but I have to get rid of it. So I'm going to have to figure out like how, because I'm not going to be able to do paint pouring in the RV. There's no place to put the painting that Amos can't get to.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll have
that
to.
That's a problem.
I might have to, I don't know, like put stuff, maybe get, like I was thinking I could paint outside if the weather's not bad, and then get like a little cabinet that I could set the paintings in so that they can dry with minimal bugs.
Getting stuff on them, yeah.
Yeah.
You could probably pick up a cheap little cabinet for like at a thrift store.
Well, not here.
Oh.
Nothing's cheap at a thrift store here.
Nothing's cheap. I don't know if I could live. I couldn't live.
Honestly,
I know I couldn't live. But.
Yeah, I could go buy clothing, brand new clothing at Costco for cheaper than getting clothing in a lot of thrift stores here.
That just blows my mind. We have like a monthly 99-cent clothing sale. And it's really not that bad. You can pick through some really nice polos for Mike's work. And like, there's usually stuff that the girls can still wear to school. And it's like 99 cents a pop.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie. There's no shame in that. Sometimes it's like, that's where our t-shirts come from.
Hey, it's reusing. You're helping the environment,
Yeah. Which, a lot of that stuff that gets thrown in donation boxes gets shipped off to Africa anyway. So on container units to get resold. So there's a whole racket. That's like a whole thing I read all about once.
Yeah.
Or watched it on Bourdain. I think Anthony Bourdain taught me that.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. Like some of the stuff with like charities and like where you donate is super, super sketch. Like I started like when I was working and had like enough of an income that I could like donate monthly. I donated to so like Richard something, I don't know, it was like this atheist guy, but he had like this total transparency thing, and then like his organization actually would go look at other charities and try to make those charities transparent so that people knew where their money was going. And so I just donated to his because I felt like I knew where my donations were going. I wasn't just paying somebody's salary, like it was actually going to
where they needed
to help people. Yeah.
That's important. That always gets me. But yeah, those big clothing thing. I don't know if you guys have them there that just say like donate shoes and clothes here. Big metal boxes, and you just pull them open and throw your shit in there and then close them and they get collected. And I guess those end up on container units shipped out to Africa where they get sorted out and resold as American vintage clothes.
That's jacked. I'd be fine with them being shipped out somewhere if they're being given to people.
Exactly.
Yeah. But like if they're just making money off of it, that's not cool.
Yep. Resorted and sold as American vintage clothing. I was kind of shocked. But you have to just check where it's going. Like if it's actually going to Goodwill, it's a little different. Which I don't know if you guys have your Goodwill bins there, but like you go down to like the main sorting center and they have conveyor belts where they just basically dump all this stuff out and then like ring the buzzer and let people come in hordes and like just dig through all the bins of all the fresh stuff.
I don't know. Like
crazy.
We might have it, and I've never heard of it, but I've never heard of that. That sounds like a lot.
It's intense because you don't have anything. Like, you're not like going in with a cart. You're going in with your bare hands. So you like grab a suitcase because you know you're going to grab stuff to put in the suitcase, and then everything's sold to you by the pound.
Wow.
So you like go and just weigh it and then make sure you safely get it home. So it's fun. I want to go back. It's definitely something I could get used to. Flea markets are way better because you can buy goats and chickens, but Goodwill bins are fun too. So,
Huh.
yeah, I think you would like flea markets, like our flea markets, because of the goats and chickens.
Yeah. There's a store, and I went in the other day to buy a hose, and they have baby chickens. They're kind of like Tractor Supply, but it's a different, like, it's called Wilco.
Oh, nice.
And they're kind of new to the area. So, but they had baby chickens. So I was just walking around going, baby chickens, like, you know, they're so cute. I don't want chickens. They're stinky, but like, they're very cute when they're there.
They are very cute. I want chickens, but you know, I don't think we can take on the challenge of chickens right now. We have the space.
I want quails. That's like, I want to do quails for the eggs.
Yeah. Now they're regional. Like, they won't live out here, will they? They don't handle winters out here, do they?
So there's this guy that when I was raising rabbits, he did rabbits and quails, and he was up in Canada where it gets really cold, and he had like a whole setup for them. And showed like how to winterize for them and stuff like that. So I think you can get them.
Possible.
They might not be native. You just need to take care of them when the weather's bad.
Yeah.
And you know, so it's like the rabbits are okay in the winter, but they don't cool down very well. So then he had to do stuff for them when it got really hot. And then, you know, the birds were the opposite. So, and the quail are cool because like you can just keep them in these cages that have like where the eggs roll out to the outer edge.
Nice.
And stuff. So it's like on my list. I'm not going to be doing it anytime soon, but someday, hopefully.
Got your little RV and your quails. Maybe you end up getting rabbits again.
Yeah. When I'm like in a more long-term, like when I get to a place where I know this is where I'm going to be for a while, you know?
Yeah. And get a pool with the tilapia that you can have them. Is it tilapia that eats their own feces, or is it?
I don't know.
Or is it something else eats their feces? I don't know. But you can make an ecosystem using tilapia and something else. And it ends up feeding the tilapia, and the tilapia feeds something else. I'll have to look that up, but I will look that up and send that to you because I used to be really into this whole like dream of getting off the grid thing. When Phaedra was really little, I used to dream about that all the time.
Yeah.
Because I had this whole thought that the world was going to end like by 2012 and she was going to be a baby. And
yeah.
Not literally, but metaphorically, I was like, things are going to get really bad in 2012. I've been no idea how much worse.
I've been waiting since I was pretty young for things to go, but instead they're doing it really like in slow-mo. They're not doing it very fast. And I thought
it's
it was
like
just
a backdrop.
Yeah. And it's going to be like, we're going to look back like 5 years, 10 years from now and realize that we went through like the prime, the best it was going to be. And that now it's never going to be like that again. And, you know,
I feel like that's how it's been because I was briefly raised a Jehovah's Witness, and they believe that the end is near all the time. I still have family members, you know, I love them to death, but they'll call and be intoxicated or something like that and want to tell me how the end is near. And so I'm just like, I go with it. I roll with it. I just let them talk. But I mean, I want to think my whole life the end has been near. And if it hasn't been 40 years ago, then maybe it's not coming. It's going to come so slow. It's not going to be Mad Maxy like I thought.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what it is. It's just going to be like slow-mo, and we're already watching it happen, like with climate change and everything.
I really expected there to be more leather and less clown girls. But I'm glad there are more clown girls.
Yeah. There's probably a lot of leather too, just like we see the clowns more than the leather, you know? Because everybody needs their like joyous outlet.
Yeah, they do. I need to throw my oh wait. Yeah, so how do we get around that? Okay, your link tree or you don't have a link tree. You have just your website. Oh, you do have a link
tree.
What do you have on
Instagram and Twitter is where my link trees are, and then on TikTok it's just my website.
Okay. So I on TikTok have that Instagram button now, and then my link tree's on my Instagram. So that's how people are finding it. And so right now I'm just leaving the podcast up as the website. So
yeah.
I probably need to do an OnlyFans session soon. Because I haven't been in the mood to. But I will officially run out of content in like September.
I am scheduled through October now. And I still have more because I take so many photos. So I only post one at a time. So I just kind of go through all the photos. So I have plenty, but I get like where I start feeling like stuff's boring because I've looked at it already and I feel like I should be making new stuff. And like on my trip, I made some new stuff, but I'm not comfortable where I'm at, like, so I'm like ready to get in the RV, y'all. We're gonna have some fun. There's a lot of mirrors in that RV.
Nice. There were a lot of mirrors in that RV.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't
even know they were useful until like I was one of the hotels I was staying at, and I was like, oh.
Nice. That's awesome. See, that's what I want to do too, is like go downtown with my husband and stay at that nice hotel one night and take some pictures. That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. I was thinking about like maybe like once a quarter I'll stay somewhere that has a bathtub just so I can take a bath, because like I'm not, the RV just has a standing shower. My avocado bathtub is just something I don't want to have pictured anymore. It's so gross. It's just ugly, and it needs I need to run a new bead of caulk around the edge of it, but it's just an ugly tub. It needs to be refinished, and that green is just out of style. But it is clean. I scrubbed it. I was scrubbing it the other day, and I was like, it's a clean tub. It's just ugly, and it'll never look good. I just always thought it gave it like a little bit of a vintage look to your photos. It never looked bad to me. It's just a style.
Okay.
Yeah.
An aesthetic.
Yeah. I think you could just work with the aesthetic,
Yeah. I might have to revisit that.
Get some go-go boots and
I do have like the whole, was that Austin Powers movie where he had the fembots and they had the like fluffy looking nighties? I have one of those. I bought one of those to see if it would look good on me. I need to take some pictures in that. So
I could work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on my period right now, so it's not really going to work for anything.
I don't miss that. Like, I got all that shit scooped out, and I forgot that periods existed as soon as it was gone. There was no like not a month later. Oh, I'm supposed to. No, none of that. It was just like instantly, like just not there anymore.
It must be a great feeling.
Yeah, that's like I've had other things that are not great from having the surgery, like gaining weight really fast because my hormones change, And so like my body changed a lot, and then like my belly changed shape because of the surgery, like because there's no longer some of the stuff that was holding my belly in a certain shape is not there anymore. So now
Right.
it's, you know, and I'm not really happy with any of that, but it's really nice on my periods. And it's really nice to not be in excruciating pain on a regular basis, because that was why I got surgery.
That is good, because that was one of the things that you complained about a lot, and that's worth any trade. So
yeah, I just have to like learn to come to terms with how my body's changed, because some of that's not, you know, like even if I could lose weight, it's not going to change the fact that the shape is different and stuff, and just kind of learn to not be so self-conscious about it, you know?
yeah. Did it just kind of just misshapen it to where it's just something you're just not used to, or is it just like
My belly like pooks out, and I've always had pretty flat stomach, and now my belly's like sticks out. It's like round, and it's not I have a little pooch from like the fat, but it's literally like underneath that is
round?
You know,
I've always had the round, like looks like I'm pregnant. Like even when I'm not, always kind of looks like I might be pregnant kind of belly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's
I've never had flat belly.
Yeah, so I just have to get used to it, because it feels different. Even when I'm sitting, the way my clothes feels different.
Does it feel fake?
Yeah, it does feel kind of fake.
Yeah. Like my belly feels fake. Like the fat just doesn't feel like it's part of me.
Yeah.
It's just kind of there, like I'm wearing a prosthetic of fat on the front. Like that's how my belly has always felt. So
and it looks like so when I see it in photos, I'll just be like, oh, you know.
Because you can't really suck it in or anything either.
No, yeah, it doesn't. It literally, I could suck my tummy in, but it no longer does the same thing that it used to do. It's just there. It's weird.
That's why I wear my waist cincher a lot, or like try to pose different. When I was like 5 pounds lighter, it looks a little smaller, but it's still there. But it looked okay. But and I would say about 5, maybe 6 pounds lighter. I don't know. I just can't get over that hump right now. I'm not doing myself any favors either. I'm still eating like honey buns and stuff from time to time.
Yeah. I haven't been eating as well as I normally do, just because I don't have my kitchen stuff, but I'm still not eating enough to like warrant how much I've gained. It's just been like I look at my videos from last year, and it's like really noticeable, like how much lighter I was. And I haven't weighed myself, but I'm guessing I've gained about like 20 pounds.
Wow.
So, yeah. Just based on where my weight was the last time I got weighed, and I think I've gained since then. So that's my guesstimate. And like, I'm like, dude, I'm not even like I associate that kind of weight gain with like eating a lot and eating really bad, and and I have days where I splurge, but I don't like eat like that all the time.
Yeah. I wonder if one of those drugs like Ozempic, I mean, I know you're not a diabetic, but I wonder if one of those drugs like Ozempic would work for you.
Maybe. I have PCOS, so those kind of medications are used to treat PCOS, but they're not covered by Medicare. So.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
There's always a catch.
Yep. But they, at some point, I think that this will that particular medication, those types of medications will become covered, because they will save the insurance companies a lot of money in the long run if they're not having to treat as many of the side effects of being obese,
Yeah.
So, but they need to get to the point that they see the value in order to be willing to pay for that stuff. And then also, as those drugs become more commonplace, the prices should come down on them, and hopefully, in the next couple of years, we'll see a shift in that.
Yeah.
Also, Medicare, they're like bullies. Like when they decide that they want things to be covered and cheaper, they will push and, you know,
Really?
to get the meds cheaper. So they're doing that. There's like a list of 10 medications that they're working on. I just saw an article yesterday. There's a couple diabetes medications.
Oh yeah, that they're trying to lower the costs of right now.
Yeah. And they're like, so hopefully the none of the weight loss meds are on that list, but there's like rheumatoid arthritis meds and some other diabetes meds and some other stuff. So hopefully like they'll also get in on the game at some point too, because
yeah,
it'll save them money as well.
Yeah, that would be good for a lot of people. I know I have a friend that's doing pretty well on one of those drugs, a drug that's like that, and it's doing very, very well for their health. So
yeah, I'm going to the weight loss clinic at Stanford in October, I think. Like, I know like I'm not super heavy, but I told my doctor, I was like, look, I put on this weight really fast, and because I have health issues, I can't exercise, and so I'm very concerned about this becoming like a snowball thing. So I would like to see somebody sooner than later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And she agreed that that was a good idea. So I'm going to go in and see them, and we'll see what they say. You know, I need to start writing down what I'm eating. I just need to get moved into the RV so I can go back to my regular diet, and then I can start writing down what I'm eating and be like, see, this is what I eat. And
it's not bad. It's not me. Yeah.
So, and it's likely hormones, and I don't know what they can do to help that, but hopefully there's something, you know. I just like to feel like I have control.
Yeah, you do. Just don't stop bugging them about it. You know, it's like they always, like my therapist was saying when she was talking about incontinence, she was like, don't just go buy the diapers. Make sure you push and find an answer, because there's a way to fix it. And I'm like, okie dokie. I don't know how we got on this topic, but
yeah, but it's true. I mean, even if like there's like, you know, like there's different surgeries and physical therapy, and if it's caused by the bladder sitting in the wrong place, there's like these things you can use to help push the bladder in the right spot. So that's, you know, there's stuff. It's just getting the test and figuring out what's going on.
Right. Yeah.
You know, but usually it's just physical therapy helps a lot.
It's good.
Yeah.
I had to reschedule my appointment with my rectal surgeon. I realized it was going to be like on a Monday, and Mondays are now when I'm at the shop, at the antique shop. So I can't do that. So I like canceled it and put a note on there for them to reschedule. And I'm just like, this is the one thing that would make my like quality of life that much better if I could go ahead and get it taken care of.
Yeah.
Like,
well, hopefully they do surgeries on other days, because some doctors, they only do surgeries on one day of the week.
Well, I have to go in for the consultation first. See, because remember they like had me set up for a consultation, but they ended up calling me that day and telling me that they were actually like a rectal disease specialist. And they were like, I don't think that's what you're looking for. I think you're looking for the rectal surgeon. I'm like, yeah, that's who my doctor is supposed to refer me to. So that got canceled. And then my doctor had to call back and call in a different referral. So that took a couple of weeks. And then the referral appointment was a couple weeks out. And I scheduled it. And then Apple Tree was, they were like, you're coming in on Mondays, which is fine, but I don't want to ditch them again on another Monday, because I just ditched them on Monday because of sick kids. So I'm just like, I'll get to the rectal surgeon eventually.
Everybody's favorite doctor, the rectal surgeon.
Yeah. It needs to get done, but I installed a bidet, and that makes me feel a lot better for now.
Oh my God. I'm going into the RV. I'm giving that up, because I'm going to have a composting toilet and there's going to be no water. And I'm like, every time I have a poop now and I rinse, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to do this soon. And I know like my tissues are really used to that. They're going to get really irritated. And, you know, like I'm going to have to get used to a whole new wave. I'm going to use the shower and rinse, but it's not the
I was
same.
about to say you're gonna have to jump out and get in the shower.
Yeah, it's just not the same. I mean, thankfully it's only like 4 feet. Like, you know, there's a toilet room, and then you just go doot doot doot, and the shower's right there. But it's still just, it's going to be like a whole different process. And I'm like,
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a whole thing now. I understand. That would, because I was using my shower before I got the handheld installed. So
yeah.
I mean, granted, my shower's like literally a step away from the toilet, but now then I had to like figure out how to like use the sprayer without getting water everywhere.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Because, well, and I like, at my last place, I had an actual like bidet attached around the toilet. And at first I was like, I think I prefer the sprayer because it's easier to get like the front when you go pee, right? But after getting used to the bidet, like it's so effective at getting your butt clean. It's like, at first you feel like, I don't know, you're being molested or something inappropriate, like it's a little bit violent, and you're like, oh, this is not cool. But like you get used to it, it stops being so sensitive, but then it's like, oh, this is super effective, you know? Like, so now I'm back to using a sprayer, and I'm like, oh, it's not doing me the same kind of favors a bidet was, but it's still better than nothing.
See, and I need to switch to the bidet. I think I'll splurge and do the bidet in the master bathroom, and then just use the sprayer in the first bathroom.
That's a good idea.
That would be a good little splurge.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes this house can feel really big, and sometimes it can feel really small. And I think I make it feel really small because I'm here all the time. The pets, like between the pets and the people, it's like there's a lot of things going on constantly. It's just madness, like between the pets and the kids and stuff. So
I think you know, there's the people and the stuff in the house, but then there's also the psychological impact of having to like keep track of all the things that are going on, like getting, you know, taking care of like whatever it is during the day, getting dinner ready and getting the kids ready for school and picking them up, and like all of those things also like take up space
and bills
as well. Yeah, like I think it all like adds up.
It really does. Like I was vacuuming the other day, and I was just like, it really, like, it does, because it's like this has to be, it has to be done every time. Like the work is never going to stop. It has to get done at least once or twice a week, or there's like a whole extra dog floating around on the carpet. It's just gross.
Yeah, there's no last time for vacuuming your dishes until you're dying.
Nope. Yep. Or laundry.
Yep. It's just the next time.
Just the next time.
Yeah.
I hope I die peacefully in my sleep like Bob Barker did. Or like Queen Elizabeth. You always wonder how true that really is, but I really, really hope that's me.
Yeah.
In my sleep.
My grandpa died in his sleep. So, and he knew it was coming. He told us, like, he was like, go put my dog down. I'm done. You know?
Wow. And went to bed and went.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Just plain and simple. I don't want to be like a burden or anything. I just want it to be like, I'm leaving now.
Yeah, I hate the idea of like getting some like serious illness where I die in slow-mo and like my son has to like witness that and help take care of me. Like I don't want that, you know?
I don't either. Yeah.
I would rather just go very suddenly or just go like get old and just be like, yep, and then fall asleep and be done.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of where I'm at. But I don't know. I started thinking about age. I was talking about age with Phaedra the other day, and we got into this philosophical conversation because it was like, do I want to be as old as my mother? Like, ever? I mean, if I'm as healthy as she is, like, is she healthy enough? Like, is that what I would want? I mean, she's spry enough to get on an airplane and fly, but it's like, so that's something. And she obviously wanders around San Francisco like a tiny Godzilla every day. That's something. But it's like, do I want to be, like, she also complains about being in pain every day. And like, do I want to be that old? Do I really want to be a burden?
Does she like, I mean, I'm assuming she doesn't like go to the doctor to get help to manage things. And I feel like we can age more gracefully if we utilize the tools that are available to take the edge off those things, you know?
Yeah. She's not a big advocate for her own health. She just goes when she has to.
Yeah.
But she doesn't explore like other things that she could be doing with her health. Obviously, or explore mental health.
Yeah. I don't want to get old if I'm going to get like dementia or whatever. That's what I'm afraid of is, you know, like I can handle being old. I can handle pain and prolapse and whatever else, you know, because that's all stuff that I can work with my doctors on and find ways to manage it. But like, if I'm going to lose my brain and be driving the people around me crazy, because who knows what kind of trouble I've got to get up to. Like, I have a lot of pent up stuff. I could see just being a really nasty person because I never let myself be that way, you know?
Yeah. Like a really nasty old dementia, one of those people that just scream obscenities all the time.
Exactly.
Spit at people. Yeah, no.
Yeah. I don't want to be a burden in that way either, you know? Like, just
that's going to be my husband. My spouse is going to be that guy.
Yeah.
He's going to get dementia and just be one of those that just screams at you all the time.
Well, hopefully it's fun stuff so you can like make recordings.
I hope so. We'll have to see. I'll make TikToks of him. He better not get dementia. I don't want that either. I don't want either of us to have to take care of that.
Yeah.
So. But I don't know. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, there's all, you know, hopefully there'll also be treatments for some of that too, because they're learning more and more about it.
Yeah. I have to remember we're a lot younger than we think we are. I mean, by the time it's going to be another 30 years before we're like 80, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah,
got time. They can do a lot. They've been moving so fast with science.
Yeah.
The problem will it be accessible to us?
Yeah.
Which is already the problem that we have.
Yeah. Yeah. And unless something changes, it seems more likely that things will become less accessible than more.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Kanye West was on a boat in Italy and apparently got fellatio by his wife in front of tourists and everybody. That is your pop tidbit of the day.
Nice. I would never have known that if you hadn't told me. Like, did they do that on purpose or not realize they could be? I mean, like, I have questions now.
I'm not sure. I had questions, but I didn't want to Google it or click on the article. And I was just like, no, I'll see more of it if I keep looking at it. And it came up in one of my Facebook groups because it was my Facebook groups that came up that was like, so the comments aren't going the way you planned or whatever. And they always post the most random stuff. And that was like one that was in there. And I was like, no, don't click on the article.
Yeah, that's because then that would just ruin I wouldn't even Google it because it'll just ruin my Google feed.
Mm-hmm. But sometimes when I get random bits of pop stuff like that I have to share them because I'm just like, wow, but we can't believe what I just heard today. First world problems. I mean, those are definitely like First world problems. What was it the other day too that Phaedra was like, that's a first world problem? I can't remember. But I'm glad that she recognizes that.
Yeah, that is good. I like, sometimes I'll see science stuff that's like fun and more, it's not popish because it's just science, but it kind of falls into that realm because it's unnecessary science. But like one of them was like studying like how we how things collect in our belly buttons, like what's the mechanism that gets the fuzz and all that into the belly button, and then like what is being collected in there, and different belly buttons, different styles of collection. And it was silly. Yeah.
That's kind of interesting. There was a show I used to watch called Oddities, and they had a girl that made little people out of her belly button lint. Like she collected enough of it and made little dolls and put them in little jars. Huh. And it was, yeah. And I think she also did like fingernail art too. It's weird.
I don't have the right kind of belly button. I don't collect lint because mine's not an innie. So it's amazing to me that you could collect enough lint to make things from it.
Yeah. I have an innie, but I don't collect lint. It's always like closed and fat. It's like fat and closed, so it gets really oily instead. But
yeah,
my husband gets belly button lint. When we first got together, I pulled out this piece that was like that. I'm sure he's like happy about that. No, he's shaking his head.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like that's so magic. He's got a proper innie then.
Mm-hmm. It was crazy because I was in there with tweezers too. It was very crazy. And then like we both jumped and we lost it, and it like went somewhere. And, like this is when we first were.
I'm scared of it.
Yeah, we were both scared of it. I was like, "What is that?" Yeah, it was so weird. It's so weird, and it's just fuzz and skin.
I love the monkey urge to like groom other people. Like when I was younger, I would like groom my guy friends' eyebrows or if they had like blackheads, I would clear them out for them.
Oh,
and I
love doing that.
Do that for like hours, but I cannot watch the pimple popping videos.
Really?
It's so gross. Like I can do it myself, but I can't watch it.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of times people find it soothing, but that's interesting.
Yeah. Nope.
I don't know. I watched a video. It was I'd never heard of them before, and now I still don't remember what they were called. Like tugs or something. And they were like on the bottom of this guy's foot. And they were like in the Philippines or something. And they were like cutting him out with knives. And they like were like all like, they looked like seeds at the bottom of this guy's foot, and they were just pulling them out. Like they ended up being white and pussy, and they left holes and craters in the bottom of his foot.
Was it like a parasite or something? Because I know there's stuff like that.
Yeah, it had to have been a parasite because it definitely wasn't any kind of blackhead or pimple. But I do find those videos soothing. I can watch those.
Yeah, I also have a very strong aversion to feet, so like that would be like double no.
Yeah. They were so up close you couldn't really tell what was going on until like they zoomed out. But it was like my family can't watch Dr. Pimple Popper either. I try to put her on sometimes, and they're just like, "No, Mom, no, please."
It's so interesting.
Oh.
Yeah, different brains, different soothing properties.
Yeah,
I like watching like these videos where they clean carpets, where they spray them with water, and then all the dirt comes out, and then they like swoosh it away. I like those.
Yeah, and they have to like, it's a really, really dirty rug too, and they have to go over it a few times, and then power wash it a few times, and then squeegee it off a few times, and then flip it and do the back, and then
Sometimes the
a good one.
rugs are not even the color you expected them to be. Like, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. This one was like, the first one I ever saw was like a bright white. And I was like, I cannot believe that's supposed to be bright white. Because when they threw it down, it was like black. You like never think it's going to get clean. Like you watch the video to the point where you're like, it's never going to get clean.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's good to watch.
Otherwise, I hardly like watch, scroll, or do anything like that now. I just post my stuff and go to other people's accounts. Like if they comment, I go and look at their stuff, but I haven't really been scrolling much. So I just don't see much.
I've started going to people's pages and then scrolling a little bit and getting a little bit of both. I like the following tab and I like the stem tab. That kind of gives me a neat video at least once a day or two.
No, I haven't checked that one out yet.
It's cool. I didn't realize it was actual STEM videos. So I was like, the first one that was there yesterday was an actual like engineer talking about something. I can't remember what it was. I scrolled past them to see if they were all like that. And I was like, huh. And I didn't know if that was just me or not. It was kind of cool though. That's not. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to check that out. Might be more interesting.
Yeah, like Astronomy Magazine and then NPR. So that's kind of cool. It gives me a chance to maybe make a different FYP page of maybe more healthy content. So.
Yeah. I noticed, like, as I got more into Instagram and kind of moved away from TikTok and then got into Twitter, it's like I do enjoy the written word and like photos more than videos. And I think it's because it's easier for me to consume at my own pace, whereas the video forces the pace.
That's true. I could see that. You know that you can speed up a video now if you hold down the thing.
Yeah. And I do that on YouTube. I watch everything like 2 times speed.
Yeah. But I didn't know you could do that on TikTok until recently.
Yeah.
Like, makes life easier.
Yeah.
Not that I speed through a bunch of people's videos. Please don't think that.
Well, it's the ADHD brain. Like, it's hard to be like patient. Like, and if people are talking fast enough, it's okay. But if they're talking really slow, I'm not going to watch the video. So if I speed it up, I will watch the video because it's at a pace that my brain goes, okay, I'm getting enough stimuli to stay interested.
I can stick with this. Well, there were people that I had realized like had completely fallen off my feed. And so that's why I had to go through my comments. Because it's like, even like with Ritzy, I don't ever see anything. So I always have to go to their page.
Yeah,
to see anything they post. Ever.
Yeah, I think they just started posting recently too, so they're pretty new to TikTok, but
I didn't realize that I didn't follow them on Instagram, so I had to fix that too. So
yeah.
I don't follow a lot of people on Instagram, so that's not on purpose. That's just a thing. So if there's anyone in particular.
Yeah, same. Like I don't get notifications for follows most of the time, so I have no idea that people are following me unless I go to the following thing, and that's not really in a sensible order. So, and I'm not going to go like look at every single person to figure out, if they have clown in their username, then it's pretty easy. I'll go look at their profile, and if they actually make content that's clowny, I'll follow them. But I only follow like somebody asked me how they could get me to follow them back because they wanted to DM me. And I was like, well, you're not the right kind of creator. I only follow people who make stuff that is like what I'm making, so that I'm getting that exposure and getting that support,
Yeah. How did they take that?
They didn't respond.
Oh,
that was a guy. He was trying to.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you had to say. And it's just like, okay.
And I was just like, nope. Because, you know, I looked because they were commenting, and after that, they never commented again. So they're like, well, I'm not going to get what I want. So,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I run into that still sometimes. And, you know, there are times when you can just laugh it off. And then there are times that you just like, all right, buddy, I'm going to block you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Twitter's weird because the guys there, if you post something like that makes them think about sex or whatever, they'll just start DMing you and like not necessarily say anything sexual, but they start DMing you because they're like, I think hoping for a connection.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
really weird. And I'm like, why are you DMing me out of the blue? And I started to see the pattern that every time I posted something that was a little saucier, that I was getting these guys texting me or DMing me. And I was just like, no. I just started like, if they didn't say anything annoying, I would just react, but not say anything. And then if they say something annoying, then I just block them because, you know, it just feels really weird. Like, I don't even understand where's the thing in their brain where they're thinking, well, you know, where they're thinking it's appropriate to message me in the first place.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you post like photos on Twitter?
Yeah, I post a clown photo every day. And then sometimes on Thursday, I'll pull one from my saucy pile for Thirsty Thursday. And that's the only space that I'm really comfortable, like being like, yeah, I have an OnlyFans, because it's the only place I don't have like longtime friends and family following me.
Kind of like my second Instagram.
Yeah. So,
Gotcha.
but I still don't do it a lot because it's only part of what I'm doing. So I only share it part of the time. I don't make it like the point of what I'm doing.
I always make one, and if it would help drive any traffic.
It might. There's a lot of there's a lot of OnlyFans traffic there. So, but there's also a lot of like bots and stuff. So men get annoyed by how much DMs they get from bots. I don't understand how they're getting DMs from bots if they're not following the bots back. But
can I turn DMs off?
I think so.
Okay, good.
I would do that, but I have like one person or two people that I talk to there. So maybe I should just migrate them off of Twitter, and then I could turn off my DMs.
Yeah. I just don't have the energy. Like, comments are one thing, but I kind of feel like that's the conversation.
Exactly.
You know? Now, in some cases, I'm like, even with my TikTok, it says no DMs, but I have them on because it's like I leave them on just in case. And I still get messages, and I get messages from really good people that I know for a fact that I'm like it's like that meme. This could have been an email. This could have been a comment. Like, this did not need to be a message, but it's fine. This is fine.
I get that too, where people like, for some reason, they go into DM with something that could have been a comment. And I'm like, I feel like they're trying to manipulate me. I don't like, it's not conversational to me. It feels weird. Like, why are you taking me aside to talk to me about something that you could have talked to me right there in front of everybody?
Right.
You know?
That's kind of weird for me too. It takes so much more effort. We could have had this conversation somewhere else. And it's just like,
yeah, like maybe sometimes I go, maybe that person has social anxiety and they're not comfortable because they're not content creators. So they're not comfortable being out there, but then they're giving me anxiety by putting me in this situation where I feel trapped with them, you know, because I'm like, why are you like, what are you trying to get from me, kind of thing. Like, it just doesn't, you know. So yeah, I definitely like have become a lot more wary of DMs since joining Twitter.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I need that. I have enough going on with the OnlyFans and the Instagram messages that I just stopped answering. So, and
Yeah,
it's like, there's no non-love to anybody like that, anyone that is listening.
I have one person that comments on my stuff pretty regularly on OnlyFans, and I really enjoy that and appreciate the fact that they put the time into doing that, because like the silence was stuck in like a lot. And then I have someone else that has sent me like requests, but I'm like not in a situation where I can like fulfill the request, but they're totally like stuff that I was like, dude, I would totally want to do this. I just need to get into my space so that I can feel comfortable doing that stuff and have access to my, you know, my camera and all that. And I'm like bummed that my move got like delayed, because I was like getting excited to get to like play around and stuff. Like I got a request to take pictures with sock puppets. Nothing like they're like it can be safe for work or not safe for work or whatever you want to do. They're not asking for me to like hump the sock puppets or something, right? They just want the sock puppets in the pictures. And I was like, okay, I could do that. I didn't have any sock puppets, but now I do, because somebody sent me some from Twitter. So and I think it would be an interesting challenge, how to take a picture that's kind of saucy with a sock puppet. Like, how am I going to arrange that? And I love the challenge, you know. So
I could think of 1,000 things, like, you know, like you could be like kind of cute, you know, Betty Page pose, but you know, you've got your cute little sock puppets posing with you. Like, you've got so many options, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I'm going to do it, but I hope they're, you know, they seem like they're being patient. They seem to understand. They're following my podcast and stuff. And so,
nice.
You know, but I also like appreciate just the fact that somebody is interested in my stuff enough to have like a request, because, you know, I've like had the OnlyFans for like over a year and I never got any requests at all. So it was like, and then awesome. Yeah, awesome that it's something at my level. Like, you know, they're not asking me to do something that like that's like so outside my realm of comfort that I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that, and then feel inadequate for a month or something, you know.
Yeah, no, it's good that you're getting the request, because that's kind of part of the fun. I kind of got overwhelmed, like somewhere around the whole like panty selling stuff. I kind of got a little overwhelmed, and I think, but I think some of that is like, you know, not to TMI it, but like some of that's just like butt stuff, and it'll get rectified. And until then, I just don't really feel comfortable.
You said rectified.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, I need to cook dinner. I just realized that. Like,
yeah, okay, well, let's wrap it up then. Well, thank you for hanging out and joining my podcast.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.